called 102 Minutes That Changed America. This is showing basically almost the minute-by-minute detail, not from a news story. This isn't a documentary where someone's going to narrate the whole thing. The only narration is coming from
Glendale High School has hosted a choice program called Quest for the past 2 school years. Quest is part of the New Tech Network, a series of schools with a focus on technology and project-based learning. The program prides itself in being different than traditional learning.
I don't want to have to stand behind someone and be that person who's brooding over them, making them have to do their work, because I don't think that's going to happen in the real world.
Leslie Helfrecht and James Nordine are facilitators for Quest at Glendale.
We got the term facilitator from the New Tech Network. They use facilitator and learner just to kind of fit the style of project-based learning a little bit more.
Quest puts learning in the hands of the student, and the teacher takes the role of a resource, not the holder of all knowledge.
It's not, I'm the teacher and I'm giving you all the information, I'm just teaching you, but I'm facilitating the learning. So I'm kind of maybe guiding and helping definitely when needed, but trying to not be as visible in the classroom.
Quest's differences don't stop at students and teachers' interactions. The program offers courses that create a unique combination of classes.
With some of the new programs that we're going to see coming in next year with project-based learning and stuff, that's not really what's going to distinguish Quest from other classes. I think it's more of the combined classes that really distinguish it from our normal everyday schooling. And so like BioLit, for example, or with American Studies where it's English and history combined, I think that that's what distinguishes it just from project-based learning, which we'll see at a sort of district-wide level.
Quest students McGuire Stroud, Maggie Kelly, Gabby Gerke, and former Quest student Luke Miller sat down with us to talk about their experience with Quest. All of you have been a part of Quest at some point, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so are all of you still in Quest?
No, I am not.
Okay, so Luke, you said you weren't in Quest anymore. Why is that?
For me, the Quest experience, it didn't suit my preferences.
Luke was enrolled in the Quest course BioLit last year, a combination of biology and literature. He believes there should be more learning of the content before students have to work in groups.
You need to learn the biology and maybe the literature or English aspect, and then when they are combined for the actual product, the project that you would do. So maybe the learning is separate and then like the work is together. I think that would work instead of trying to learn them at the same time like they have done.
No matter what the students' overall opinion about Quest seemed to be, all of the learners we talked to shared this same idea.
I love the Quest style of teaching, but at the same time it is hard to learn about something as you're trying to create a product about it if you don't know what it is.
The students all brought up Mrs. Amanda Bodenstein, a history facilitator. They all said she did a good job of teaching content and then conducting a project. We decided to find out exactly what students appreciated about her class.
First thing that the students get is what we call the entry document, or we do what's called an entry event. And that is just to introduce the students to what are we going to be doing for the next 4 to 6 weeks. So what we do on that very first day, I announce the groups, we do the entry document or the entry event. The students then do a process we call know, need to know, and next steps. Really from there, every project looks kind of different in terms of the process.
So they march into the chamber shouting, down with the tyrant, down with the tyrant. They take him.
We work, we do workshops, we work, more need to knows, more workshops.
In that room, and they are, there's a guard that's standing post.
And then the final bit of that process is, and it's one of the most important pieces to me, is reflecting on that project.
Students had more to say about Quest. They value the focus on real-world skills uniquely taught in the program.
If we want to really learn what it's like to be in the real world, then we need to be able to handle those people who aren't able to be on the same level as us and learn how to connect with those people too.
An area that represents each one, but at the same time, like within each one, it's gonna like...
I think it's different because not only because of the combined classes, but also they put a lot of emphasis on real world skills. Like we've learned how to go through an interview process, how to make a resume, and even dealing with people that you don't want to work with in a group project, as they were talking about earlier with the firing people. You have to learn how to work with people, and I think that's a big part of it, is you're learning real world things like the character development, like McGuire said, that you're going to have to learn someday.
Quest no doubt offers a unique way to learn information and real-world skills, but students seem to have a problem with obtaining the content that they believe they ought to know.
I prepare my students for the EOC because I'm a rule follower, and I feel like that's something that I don't want to do them a disservice. But I also feel like my learners are going to be as prepared for that test because they've been thinking differently and interacting with the content a little bit differently.
Helfrecht believes her students are prepared for tests after taking her course, but all of her learners may not agree.
I don't feel prepared at all. We haven't learned the content that we really need to be understanding these ideas, and it really hasn't been effective at, achieving the standards that the district has set out for us.
Luke appreciates the learning that Quest offers, but he feels as though, in its current state, it does not prepare students for success when it comes to higher education.
It's too far ahead. It's too, for us, because we can't change our system in, the next year. I mean, I graduate next year. I don't have much say in how the colleges pick me. So I need to be kind of ready for what the colleges are going to throw at me, what I have to do to get into college, because that's the next step.
The Quest facilitators are not scared of criticism. They seem to be willing to change what they do for the benefit of their learners.
I think when we think about things, we can't see it from the same lens as the learners, as the students, because we're not them anymore and we can think we know what's the best. And so really trying to develop that student voice and the student choice in how they want to drive this. And I think this should be a program that it's based on what the students want.
Quest, at this 2-year mark, is like a cake only partially baked. It has potential, but it isn't quite there. Students are learning important soft skills like group work, agency, and working towards a final goal. However, actually learning content should not be sacrificed for these skills. If Quest can develop a way for students to develop these soft skills, learn content, and feel comfortable about the information they've gained, then it would be an ideal program.